Hello and welcome to EE341 lab. As you know, this course is about fundamentals of communication systems. So whatever you learn in class, you will do experiments about through lab sessions. Here in this lab, we use LabVIEW software. So our first step would be learning LabVIEW. In this part, I will talk about the very basics of LabVIEW. I will tell you what is LabVIEW, and I will tell you how you can start using LabVIEW, and I will talk about the applications of the LabVIEW software. So, to begin, I should tell you that LabVIEW is like a programming language, but it is a bit different than the programming languages that you have already learned. It's a graphical programming language. So, like other programming languages, it has some functions. It can do so many operations. But the difference is that LabVIEW can do those stuff through graphical blocks. And this is somehow different than what you have learned in other programming languages. In addition to using LabVIEW for writing our own programs, we can use it to simulate the systems that we know. To start working with LabVIEW, we should first open it. So as you have already installed it on your systems, you should be able to find LabVIEW in your start menu. So we click on start in Windows and we type LabVIEW, and then we should be able to see this icon. So we click on it and the program is opened up for us, and we will see this very first window of LabVIEW, which allows us to open existing projects, create new projects, or simply open blank VI files. Now, what are VI files? Most of files in LabVIEW are saved as .vi files. VI files are the files that let you write and design your program through blocks, and you will see them a lot through this semester. So we click on blank VI. So when you click on blank VI, two windows will appear for you. One of them is called front panel and the other one is called block diagram. Both of these windows should be seen together in order for us to write our program and design our blocks. So my recommendation for you is to use this beautiful feature of Windows 10, which allows us to see two windows side by side each other. So I push it through the edges of the window and I will see both of them together. So I will talk about each of these windows. What is front panel? Imagine your program in LabVIEW as a device. If you imagine like that, then this front panel shows what people can see from your device in the outside world. I mean, imagine that your device has switches, has LEDs, has lamps, and so on. So people will see those switches, those lamps, and so on in front panel. They cannot see what is under the cover of your device. And consider this block diagram and as what is really under the cover of your device. You will see the nature of each of the blocks in front panel in your block diagram, and you will see how they are connected together. If you don't see what I'm meaning right now, don't worry. You will see everything I'm talking about through some simple examples in order for you to understand. So do not worry, and let's go to our first example to see what is really the meaning of front panel and what is really the meaning of block diagram. So in order to start designing our first program, we should be able to use the tools in the front panel. In order to use them, we should be able to see something called the control palette. In order to see that control palette, the easiest way is to right click anywhere in this front panel. As you see, I'm right clicking here, and you will see all of the tools that you may need to access in order to design a program in LabVIEW. So in order to be able to have all of them together, we can also click on this pin mark and pin this palette here in order to have them whenever we need them. So to start our very first example, as a simple example, we will use some Boolean indicator here as an LED, and we will use a toggle switch. So our aim is to turn on and off this LED here. So as you saw, I went to this Boolean and I found my LED and toggle switch. Whenever you need something but you don't know where to find it, you can also search here. So we need a Boolean, we need an LED. So we type here LED, and you see we have round LED, round LED button, any LED that LabVIEW has in it. So you see that everything that appears on front panel, it also appears in the block diagram. But these are different. These are what people can see from your program. And these are the real meaning of what is under the cover of your program. So you see here we have an LED. It can be turned on or off. Here we have it as a Boolean indicator. And here we have a switch. And here we have it as a Boolean control. Here people cannot see the wiring. But here in your block diagram, you should wire these two together if you want to relate them. So in order to wire them, I bring my mouse here and you see something appears, and I simply drag the wire to my LED. So you see the wire doesn't appear here because people cannot see the wiring under the cover of your device. But here the wiring appears for you to understand what is under the cover of your program. So now this switch is connected to this LED as we see in this block diagram. In order to start running our program, we have two options. We mostly use this one, the run continuously option. When we click on it, our device is ready, our program is ready. So what do I mean by ready? I mean that the program is compiled and people can use the program to do the operations that you intended. So what was our aim here? Our aim here was to turn on and off this LED. As you see, if I click on this switch, I will see this LED turned on and off. And in order to stop our program, simply we will click on this abort execution button, and then we are back again in the programming environment. So now we are back in our programming environment. In order to save our VI, we should click on File, and we can use Save All in order to save our VI completely. So for example, I go to desktop, I save this as example 1, and I click on OK. And so now you see that this is saved here as some .vi file. So from now on, I also recommend you to follow these videos also by yourself. I mean, open the video and play it, and at the same time try to do what I'm doing for yourself in LabVIEW. So this was our first example. It was very simple. Through next examples, I will go through more complicated stuff, and we will learn other basics of LabVIEW together.